If you were writing the final act of a dynasty, you wouldn't script it with a whimper. You'd write it exactly like this, with a grenade tossed into a crowded room. The narrative arc of Mohamed Salah at Liverpool, spanning 8 years of high-pressing glory and record-shattering dominance, likely snapped on a Saturday evening in Leeds. Forget the fire he once threatened under Jurgen Klopp. This was a calculated arson. When Salah emerged from the dressing room, bypassing the usual nod and walk, he wasn't just venting, he was executing a strategy. He stood before the cameras, calm, composed, almost chillingly serene, and systematically dismantled the club's hierarchy. He painted a picture of a man betrayed, claiming he had been thrown under the bus by an organisation looking for a scapegoat for their plummeting title defence. He didn't just hint at a breakdown with manager Arne Slot, he confirmed the relationship was dead on arrival, even suggesting his parents should attend the Brighton match, because it might well be his Anfield curtain call. This wasn't an emotional outburst, it was a premeditated press release delivered in person. The club hierarchy, shock-frozen, watched as their third highest all-time goalscorer torched the bridge, the boat, and the river. To understand the explosion, you have to look at the machinery. The romanticism of the Egyptian king has collided violently with the cold, hard data of modern pressing structures. Under the hood, this is a story about a system reboot that rejected its legacy hardware. Arne Slot, brought in to replace the heavy metal chaos with a more compact, control-based architecture, looked at the numbers and made the call that sends shivers down the spine of sentimentalists. Salah was becoming a liability. The tactical reality, stripped of emotion, is damning. Slot's desire for defensive solidity saw him shift Dominik Szoboszlai, a relentless engine of a player, into the wide right channel. The logic? Szoboszlai tracks back. Salah, at 33, conserves energy for moments that are arriving less frequently. The team, statistically, began conceding fewer high-quality chances without their talisman. Salah viewed this benching at Leeds and the previous omissions against West Ham and Sunderland as a personal affront, a conspiracy to force him out. But the video analysis suggests something far more clinical. Slot was simply opting for a functional part over a fading star. The days of the team being built to service Salah, the days of Firmino dropping deep to open the Red Sea for Mo to run into, are gone. With new signings like Florian Wirtz and Alexander Isak changing the dynamic, Salah found himself isolated, his touches in the box dwindling, his defensive output non-existent. Father Time remains the only undefeated opponent in sport, and he has clearly stripped Salah of that half yard of electric pace. In the corridors of power, this war has been brewing since the ink dried on the last contract. We flash back to April, Salah sitting on a golden throne for LFC TV, the king of the COP. But the cracks were already in the masonry. The relationship between Liverpool's data-driven sporting director Richard Hughes, the relentless Michael Edwards, and Salah's representative Rami Abbas is a study in friction. Abbas, a man whose WhatsApp bio aggressively warns that voice notes are ignored and lateness is fatal, has always played hardball, but the leverage has shifted. Last season, Liverpool justified the £400,000 a week outlay because the underlying metrics supported it. The assists, the goal involvements, the sheer volume of shots. But FSG, an ownership group that treats sentiment like a virus, has looked at the current return. 4 league goals, an inability to impact big games, and closed the checkbook. Salah's claim that the club is testing him or trying to push him out is a misreading of the room. It's not a conspiracy, it's a cost-benefit analysis. They aren't trying to force him out, they just aren't terrified of him leaving anymore. The documentary feel of this season has shifted from a hero's journey to a corporate restructuring. Inside the Kirkby training complex, the silence is deafening. Salah was back on Sunday, training with the reserves and those who didn't feature at Leeds, a visual metaphor for his diminished status. The dressing room reaction tells you everything you need to know about the modern game. There was no mutiny in support of Salah. Teammates, sensing the mood shift on Friday when the team sheet was leaked internally, knew the eruption was coming. In fact, Salah's verbal grenade actually did them a favour. It distracted the world from the fact that they had just surrendered a 2-0 lead to draw 3-3. Ibrahima Konate's defensive blunders were washed away by the news cycle of Salah's interview. It brings into sharp focus the selfish tag that Jamie Carragher dared to pin on Salah years ago. At the time, it was blasphemy. Now, it looks like prophecy. Salah's decision to air his grievances while the team is struggling, to make himself the story ahead of a crucial Champions League tie against Inter, reeks of an ego that can no longer separate itself from the collective. He name-checked Carragher in his rant, expecting criticism. He was right. But the criticism isn't about his talent, it's about his timing. So, what is the third act? The club has confirmed he won't travel to Milan. The bridge isn't just burned, the foundations have been demolished. With the Africa Cup of Nations looming in Morocco on December 21st, Liverpool has a convenient intermission. Salah will depart for national duty, perhaps never to wear the red shirt again. The vultures are circling, and they are carrying heavy bags of cash. The Saudi Pro League, specifically Al Hilal, has been waiting for this moment, ready to offer the kind of generational wealth that makes Premier League wages look like pocket money. It is the logical step down, a golden parachute into a league where his name still carries more weight than his pressing stats. But there is a subplot: the United States. San Diego FC, the new expansion team with deep pockets and Egyptian ownership connections, is lurking. Chicago Fire, having missed out on other global superstars, is ready to spend. For Salah, the choice is between the competitive irrelevance and financial absurdity of Saudi Arabia or the lifestyle branding exercise of MLS. The tragedy is the manner of the exit. A player who scored 250 goals, who defined an era, who brought the Premier League and Champions League back to Anfield, is now likely to leave via the back door amidst lawsuits and leaked briefings, while the team tries to rebuild the wreckage without him.